Hello everyone. Hello. How are you all this happy Friday? Awesome. I'm just getting myself together here. Try to get on here so I can see the comments. There we go. Hello. All right. I had a bit of a snafu. I'm waiting for some of my peeps to come in, my beautiful fairy garden friends. And this is a how-to or make your own fairy garden. And this is my indoor fairy garden. It is not a super big garden, but it is a nice garden for me. And so I have gotten creative. It is Halloween. Now here is the snafu I ran into. All my Halloween fairy garden supplies did not come in. Now how sad is that? Bummer. I mean, I ordered them and it said it would be here before today, and guess what? It wasn't. So it was either cancel this week or move on and leave the grass to show you guys. I used the flatter mats for the inside grass and where the fountain is, and I will turn that on for you guys. I will show you. I made the hill. Of course I made the hill. And I made it into a fountain for the fairies. And I will go ahead and turn the lights on for that. There you go. A beautiful water fountain in my fairy garden. And I went ahead and made the hill into it. And I did make my beautiful Halloween tree right here for the Halloween decorations. But we have to be patient because they did not come in time. I checked on them and they should be here by Tuesday, I believe they said. Tuesday. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to lay the grass down on your fairy garden. I took a small piece of plywood and I laid 8 flat fairy garden mats down that look like greenery. It is moss. And then I am using the reindeer moss to put down for the rest of the ground. So we are going to have to move some of the things here so I can show you how that's done. So I'm going to take this beautiful tree I made. This is our Halloween tree. He does go into the story. And he is carrying the large diamonds, as you can see. So we will bring him back after we get the grounds done for today. And let's go ahead. I think we can, nope, you can't see. So let's move our little girl and the house. And that way you guys can see how I am doing the garden and the grass in the, and you can see my glue here. It is an all-purpose clear glue. It dries clear so you won't see any glue through the grass. And I got the mats already glued down from the last. And if you've missed the other segments of our fairy garden, please get in there and watch that. It is awesome. And so we're going to go ahead and put these back up. There, just a little orange today because it is October. I'm really sad about the supplies not coming in. That's a week I get shorted on having Halloween in my fairy garden. I'm so sad. And so I will go ahead, when the lights come in before Friday, I will put them in the tree and get this all done, and then we will work on the yard together in another video, how you can decorate your fairy garden for Halloween. So let's get started. I got my handy little tool here to pick up the grass if I don't want to use my hand. But I didn't put jewelry on today. And the reason I didn't put any jewelry on is because we are working with glue. But let's get started. And I have my can of reindeer moss right here. And so this is how I do it. Now you can do it any way you choose. I have watched many fairy garden videos, and I take an idea from this garden, that garden, and I like that idea and I twist it and make it my own. So what you do is when you want to put the grass down, after that you give it time to dry. You don't want to put anything on top of your grass after you put it down, because then you have your other things sticking to the wet glue. So once you do your yard, and if you see patches through your flat reindeer moss that you've already glued on, you want to go ahead and do those patches. So I'm going to put a little bit of grass right here where there's a bald patch, and I just pour my glue down, and I grab some reindeer moss and I stretch it out. If I don't want it to look like a hill, I stretch it out and then I put it down. And what you can do is you can use a weight to flatten it too. If you want it even flatter, just use a weight. Any kind of iron, a book, but make sure before you flatten it that you do you do let your glue dry. And see, and that takes away that bald spot on, because sometimes when you buy the moss mats, they come with holes. It just falls off in shipping or whatever, and you end up getting holes in it, and that's what this is for. And then I see another one right here, so we're going to put a little on there. And I don't worry about on the bottom of the wood, because this is what the piece of wood was cut for, my fairy garden. Alright, so I'm going to lay some down here and cover up that bald spot. And after my glue dries, I will go ahead and put my iron. I have some really old vintage irons that are really neat that I use to flatten my reindeer moss. Alright, so now that I've covered the holes in my flat moss, I'm going to move on to do the rest of the board. You see the white here? This is all of my board where I want the reindeer moss. So you just do little patches at a time. That's it, little patches at a time. That way you can arrange it and do, and I'm not greedy on my glue either, guys. I want to make sure that it stays glued down, even if I have to move the whole board. I don't want my reindeer moss falling off. And so I go ahead and I put it down on the glue, arrange it how I want it. I need some more. Now you can see why I didn't wear my jewelry. I don't need it sticking to my jewelry. Then you got to get that glue off there. And so you just keep working your way down. Now I did order, in the order that I'm waiting for, I ordered some orange river rocks for Halloween. That is going to look neat. And now those will not be glued down. They will be on top where I can take them away after Halloween. You sure don't want to glue anything down that is temporary, like Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. And so you just keep working your way around with your moss and just put it down how you want it. Because keep in mind, like I told you, you are going to be flattening it if you want it flattened. Some people like their reindeer moss all bunched up and looking like high grass. I don't. I want to go ahead and flatten it after the glue dries. There we go. How's that looking so far? See how that fits right in? And then you have all your lawn. Now normally I would have had this done because we would have been decorating this side. Hello, Tiffany. Hello, hello. Yes, thank you. I love how it's turning out also. I can't wait until the Halloween decorations get here. So I saved, rather than canceling this week, I went ahead and saved the grass to do with you guys, so you can see how I do it. And I just put it how I eye it. You know, every fairy garden is going to be different, and there are a lot of people who love fairy gardens, and so I decided to make my fairy garden so that I can change it for the seasons, for holidays, just so I can play with my fairy garden and not be just sitting there to look at. And I got some other things to do with you guys today too. So I'm going to continue doing the grass. And I got the story. I made a story for you guys know I do writing for a magazine. And I have a wonderful story that I made for my fairy garden that fits with the gem theme. Now, if you're wondering what is the gem theme, check out our first few videos and you will see what the gems are all about and what the story is all about. There, I love how that is just flowing so well. And then we will put up the fence. Next week we will get our fence put up and our Halloween decorations in. Yeah, it's really a bummer when you don't get something in the mail you're expecting. I know how you guys feel, because I really wanted that package to come, and it did not come, so I just have to be patient. And they said it will be here by Tuesday, so I'm still got that on my mind. There we go. All right, let's let that dry for a little bit, and I will read to you guys my story. Can't wait for the Halloween. Yeah, I can't either. I am really looking forward to those Halloween decorations and being able to put my tree in there. But let me read you the story I wrote for my garden. Once upon a time, in the fairyland of Gemaron, lived generations of fairies. They worked effortlessly in the fairy garden, protecting the gems in their care. But up on the hill lived the tragic trolls, always plotting and planning to steal the magic gem that held the powerful enchanted water known as the secret of the ancients. The cold winds of fall came blowing in along with the tragic trolls. It is only then that the fairies put a drop of magic water on the tree of gold and silver. And you guys, this is the tree of gold and silver, and they used their magic water on the tree. They put a drop of magic water on the tree of gold and silver, bringing it to life and unleashing the power of fire. The tragic trolls are extremely afraid of fire. The tree stands tall beside the hill and the stream of water, and the stream of water will be the orange stones I told you about. This frightens the tragic trolls, but they won't give up. They won't give up on the gem that holds the magic water. Let me know if you like that story. That is the story that goes with my fairy garden theme. And I just love writing, and I love writing Halloween stories. I am a ghost story writer. I write for a radio station. I do their some of their ghost stories. So I have that to do. And of course, when you make money, you got to make that first and foremost. And so I went ahead and wrote that cute little story. Your creativity is amazing. Oh, love that story. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much. I'm glad you love that story. And I will write that story out on one of the videos further on down the line. Okay, now let's go back. Let's go back to our grass. I have a few more areas to get done here. We want to get those so they dry, and I'm sure by next Friday everything will be flattened and completely dry. I won't have to worry about anything sticking to the bottom of my reindeer moss. I'm gonna spread this out. Oh my goodness, look how that's looking. That is looking so gorgeous, guys. What a garden this is going to be. And the reason I love my fairy garden so much, it isn't a matter of teaching as much as building and enjoying, having something creative to enjoy and go to, especially if you're feeling a little down and you need some inspiration. You go to your crafts and your creative thinking, and it really helps clear your mind when you have a craft to work on. All right, I have just one more little patch here to do, and then I'll let that sit for a minute, and I will show you guys a couple of things I had for you today. Your creativity is amazing. Aww. Just put Tinley Ray and Bristol. Oh, good. Oh, good. That way you can come on in and watch me do. You know, I feel sad that we couldn't put the Halloween decorations up. But you know what? They'll be up for an extra week. I'll go ahead and leave it there after a little bit after Halloween, because then we're moving into Thanksgiving and Christmas. And wait until you see some of the things I have for Christmas. All right, I see a bald spot right here in my flat work, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue right there. How do you like how I did it this week? I was really good at setting up the camera so that you guys could see the fountain and watch me work on the grass. So I was pretty happy of how I set that up. All right, gonna have to let this. Okay, now we got that done. And never worry about the small stray pieces, guys. They will settle down eventually. Oh, how does that look? Does that look good? Oh, look at that grass. I'm really happy with that reindeer moss. Okay, I have something fun to show you guys today that will be in the middle of the fairy garden. A beautiful working fireplace and a little cooking pot on here. And this is for let me move it up. I don't want to put it on the wet glue. And this is for the little fairies to cook their meals and boil water or whatever they want to do. I cannot wait to see the fairies' houses and everything around this beautiful fireplace. So adorable. I just had to have that for my fairy garden. I wanted to share that with you. And I also, let me get out my little, I went ahead and I have the turtle rock. The turtle rock will also be inside this side. There's no wet glue right here, guys, so don't worry. No wet glue. And so I got the little turtle on the rock. Hello, Paula. Hello. That's cute. Now I really want a fairy garden. I just love these little things that you can get for your fairy garden. You got to be careful, though, because it can get very, very expensive. And I wanted to show you guys, I found these lights. Aren't they adorable? Check these lights out, guys. Beautiful. And they are, oh, let me get them out. They have leaves on them. Actual leaves. And so, there are 20 lights on here. Let me know what you think. I was thinking, once I get the reindeer moss on the front of my board, lining the sides in the front and the side over here where I am, and line them with the lights. How would that look? And the fact that the leaves are on here, it just makes it more realistic, and I can light up my fairy garden without having this on. If I want to light it up at night, I can turn these on and then leave these ones off. And let me know what you think about that. I think it would look cute lined up on the front here. Let me get enough of them out so you can see. Just line them up on the front where you could see the lights. And I think that would look really cute. And then I would go ahead and hot glue the battery kit onto the bottom, or have my sweetheart take off the battery kit and go ahead and hook it up to a switch. And that way I can put more than one set of lights. I can put several sets of lights into the switch and turn on one switch, and the whole fairy garden will come alive. Now, he did that, if you guys remember, he did that for my lighthouses. All I do is hit one switch and all my lighthouses come on, and the Santa Claus Village. Well, that's what I want him to do for this, if we work it out that way. I think it would look, oh, thank you. You like the idea. Oh, good, good, good. Now, let me show you guys a little box I have here. Let me put my lights down. Go ahead and put my lights away. I have this little box. And I am, for Halloween, I am making a fairy garden miniature kit. And I am going to show you guys, this is going to be the miniature kit. And for those of you who have been with me in my fairy garden and talking and watching and sharing, you will be in the drawing for a wonderful fairy garden kit. And this is it. And then your things will be in here, and I will give you your choice of fairies for the inside. And with this, you can glue your moss down if you so choose, but me personally, I would not. What I would do is flatten it, put it down in the bottom, and then flatten it really good, just like that. And then you remember how I made, if you don't remember, how I made my wire tree, go back to that video and make a smaller version of a wire tree. In fact, I might even do one for you. I'm not going to promise that, but if I have time, I will do a miniature wire tree that you can decorate for your fairy garden miniature kit. And you put your tree in there along with your miniature fairies, and then you can change it up and light it up and do whatever you want. Now, with the mini ones, you want to put the lights under your reindeer moss. You want to put them under your put them in a circle, lay them under your reindeer moss, and then put your reindeer moss in and then flatten. That way it will light up your whole globe, and you won't have to worry about seeing all the wires here. And then you light it up like that, and of course you have it on a chain, which I will put with it. It'll be a bronze chain, and your kit will also come in this box along with your glass globe. And I hope you will enjoy your fairy garden miniature kit for your home. And it's really, and along with that, I am also, we have these in my, what's in my sandbox. I have a bunch of these in there too. But for this, along with your miniature fairy kit, you will also be getting, Why Don't I Have That Kit? It's a TZED game, special made, Why Don't I Have That Kit? And there is so much. And I have a little piece of paper in here to tell you what's in your kit. I have so many things stuffed in this little bottle. I did send some out to a couple of people as a test run, and they loved it. Sacred Emotions and Queen Bee. And here I tell you on your paper everything you are getting in this kit. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that into this drawing also for your miniature fairy garden kit. So and just as a small thank you for joining me putting my fairy garden together, leave a comment down below if you like that idea, which I know you will. I think it would look awesome. Thank you, Paula. I better move these though, because that's kind of wet back there. We don't want to glue anything down. Now, if you guys remember, last week I showed you, and if you didn't have a chance to see it, go there today or this weekend and watch that video of the other fairy garden that I had on the candle holder. You can use almost anything, broken pots, broken coffee pots, anything you find that if your eye sees it, your mind's eye, your muse, and you see it, you can build it. And when I saw this small piece of wood, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. I can do an indoor fairy garden on that. And I don't want such a big garden that I have to spend hours on. I just want a small one that I can change up and have fun with and go from there. Do you guys have any questions about fairy gardens and how to make them? Do you want me to do like a tutorial video on how to make a hanging fairy garden? That would be a miniature hanging fairy garden. And I could get creative and show you how to do a miniature garden with almost anything. And I'm putting down some more reindeer moss here. I need some more, so I want it all to dry at the same time. Just when mine will be coming in the mail. Yeah. You're so funny, Tiffany. You never know. You might get one for Christmas. It depends on how bad you want a miniature fairy garden. You just might get one already made that you can change up for yourself for Christmas, girl. See? That you're going to make me. Yeah, see? I might make the initial, but you'll have to decorate it. I don't know. You just might get one for Christmas. That depends on how good you are. I'll have to talk to Santa Claus. You know how that goes. I have to tell you guys a cute little story. While I'm finishing up my reindeer moss here on my fairy garden, I'm going to tell you a cute little story. My granddaughter, Bristol, they were over for dinner. Oh, good. Paula's got happy news. Okay, well, let me tell my story, and then if you want to share your happy news, go ahead. The kids were here for dinner, and I have this giant seashell. I mean, it's about this big, and it is so awesome. And I told Bristol, I said, hey, Bristol, you can hear the ocean. And so I put it up to her ear, and her eyes got so big, and she's like, oh, the ocean and the sand. And I'm like, yeah, the ocean and the sand. And I'll tell you what, she would not put that shell down for nothing. And I'll tell you what, this is one of the best shells I have ever gotten. That, I mean, you could hear. I wished I could have you guys actually. I know you can't. You can only hear it if you put it up to your ear. But I will try to put it on my sensitive mic. But it is the only shell I've ever come across that has such a big sound of waves. Like you can literally hear the waves. I mean, it is such an awesome shell. And so she just loved that shell. I think she was amazed, Tiffany. That her eyes were so big, guys. I mean, you could see the wheels turning and the amazement, and it's so. She touches my heart. I love that look in a child's eyes when they are amazed or like, how does that happen? And you know, you can just see their little wheels turning. And she is such a smart, beautiful little girl, and the fact that she actually, I never said anything about sand. She brought that up, the sand and the ocean, she said. So, I don't know, Tiff, did you ever take her to a beach where there's sand? I mean, I don't know how she correlated sand and ocean, unless you guys did take them to a lake or something that had sand. I don't know. But really, guys, that shell is amazing. An amazing. Maybe I'll bring it with me next week when we do the Halloween decorations. I am so sorry we couldn't do them today, but I told you why. But that's okay. Everything comes in time. You just got to learn patience. And there you have it. That is your reindeer moss laid out for your fairy garden. And next week we will go ahead and work on, I see some more patches, guys. I see a little bit where I want to put a patch. I'm not liking the front of this too well. I want to do some patching right here. Yep. And you know, the fun thing about reindeer moss is it sweeps up so easy. Like if you get some on the floor, I don't worry about the floor when I'm creating. I can always clean that up later, but I'm not liking the front of this. I want to make sure it has more grass right there. Oh, that looks way better. Much better. There we go. And I will flatten that down once it dries. Maybe, no, I think I'll leave that alone because we got to do the front. But doesn't that look better? It looks more filled in. I'm going to have a brand new oh, I saw your post. Yes, I have something that's going to be here Tuesday, and I cannot wait to share it. All right, you do your video. I'll watch it. I can't wait for you to share it either. Don't tell anybody now. We'll all come over to your video. Thank you, Tiffany, from Paula. Yes, I can't wait to see. I love watching sharing videos. I love to see what people get and what they share on video. Well, guys, this isn't going to be a very long fairy garden today, only because my stuff did not come in, so we are cutting it short. We got all the reindeer moss laid out and ready for Halloween. So next week we will be doing the tree, the decorations, and I have a surprise. Something we came across that I know that will look beautiful on this tree, and I want to share that with you next week. I'm not going to put it on the tree though because it's fall, so I can't. Maybe I can. I don't know. I'll have to check into that. Excited to see next week. Oh, I am too, Tiffany. I am excited to see next week because it is going to be so much fun doing the Halloween. I just love Halloween. I love scary videos, scary stories. I just love Halloween. I love this whole time of the season. September, October, November, December. My favorite time of the year. And there is so many fun things to do this time of the year, and I think that's why I love it so much. And my fairy garden has brought me great pleasure. And if you decide to do your own indoor fairy garden, make it your own, make it what you like, and please don't expect everyone to like your fairy garden. As long as you love it and it suits you, that's all that matters. And I want to thank you for building my fairy garden with me. And if you would like a tutorial on how to do a miniature fairy garden with anything you can find around your house, let me know in the comments after the video, and make sure they're in those comments. And let me tell you something about comments, guys. The reason I always stress to please leave a comment, it helps the algorithms pick up my videos so that I can share my videos with many other people. So please, please leave a comment, not only on the live, but after the live, so that the algorithms can pick it up. Suze, hello. Hello, my girl, my good friend Suze. Everyone say hello to Suze. She's popping in to see my beautiful fairy garden. And let me show you, Sue, this is my tree, my Halloween tree that I made for my Halloween fairy garden. And I will show you him up close. His arms move. I made it so his arms will move. And he is carrying the big diamonds. You'll have to scroll back in the video a little bit if you want to hear the story I wrote. I do write scary stories for a radio station, and I wrote a mini story for my fairy garden. Oh, thank you, Sue. I was just telling everybody, when it's your fairy garden, love it. Not everyone is going to like your fairy garden, but as long as you do, that is what counts. And if you guys want that tutorial on anything miniature fairy garden, make sure to put it in the comments below, and I will do a tutorial of that. Yes, you're going to love that story I wrote, Sue. You're going to love it. And it didn't take me too long. I ran out of time last week, but this time it didn't take me too long to put the ending. And I will be putting the whole story up on a mini video of the fairy garden as we have it right now. And then we will have an after when I put the Halloween decorations up, which is going to be so fun. So don't miss next week, guys. Don't miss next week. We're going to have fun with Halloween in my indoor fairy garden. Until then, guys, love to all, hugs and positivity, and I'll see you in another video.